Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I've been working with Miami MoCAD as a curator for how long? Since 2019. And every project has been interesting and informative and kind of soul quenching. It's been really, really a positive experience working in Overtown. I'm really grateful for this opportunity, and the community has been so welcoming to all the work that we've done here, and we do it for you. So I want to introduce our artist for this mural. This is actually the third mural that we've done in Overtown, and Stefan Smith, who is our artist you can see on the screen, is mural, Overtown Pitch, and he is currently in Istanbul joining us live, so really grateful to have him here. He's a very talented artist, and I also want to acknowledge that his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, hi, are here. So thank you so much. We love your son and your daughter-in-law. So your parents are lovely. They're here, Stefan.
Thank you.
On that note, we will get started. I think we're going to start with Marilyn's going to be our moderator for this evening, and Stefan and I will be the interviewees. Here we go.
Thank you, Donnamarie. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic. Stefan, thanks so much for this fantastic mural. Would you like to give a shout out to Miami, who's welcoming you here from, I don't know, 10,000 miles away? Thank you, Donnamarie. Can you hear me? Yes, fantastic. Stefan, thanks so much for this fantastic mural. Would you like to give a shout out to Miami, who's welcoming you here from, I don't know, 10,000 miles away? Can you hear me? Fantastic. Stefan, thanks so much for this fantastic mural. Would you like to give a shout out to Miami, who's welcoming you here from, I don't know, 10,000 miles away?
What about technical difficulties? One moment, please.
Wait a minute. He's still here.
I'm here.
He's here. Okay. So we might just do this. You might not see his face. I think we'll do this. Alexis, we probably can't. Okay. So here we're gonna just. So we're all gonna have to really be quiet. Stefan, just say hello.
Hello, everybody.
And I'm gonna make. Okay. So you'll be able to hear him. You just won't be able to see him. Yeah.
The mic next to it.
No.
Okay. Stefan, say testing 1, 2, 3.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 3.
Okay. And you just have to speak up some because
Can we turn that mic up a little bit?
we're having some technical inroads.
Okay. We're improvising.
Yes. Just think, 20,
So,
30 years, we couldn't do any of this.
That's better. That's better. Perfect. We can hear you perfectly.
okay, wonderful. Hello, everybody. It's such a pleasure here to join you guys via Instagram Live. I'd love to give a shout out to everybody who came out, who supported this project. I'd also love to give a shout out to my Uncle Nelson Adams, who threw my name in the hat to work with Miami MoCAD, my parents who've always supported me, and also my dear colleague, Stephen, who's helped me paint the mural and kind of work through all the technical issues that we've gone through. So I just want everyone there to know Stephen and get to know Stephen. He's a talented artist, and this project was a good challenge, and it was something that it was very good to work with him on, and I hope you guys get to know him while you're there.
So, Stefan, can you tell us what inspired you to create the mural and take us through your thought process and your inspiration for this mural.
So for this mural, it was really important to me to highlight the Black and Brown stories that are essential to our community here in Overtown, and also to engage with the local soccer community in South Florida and to really highlight the special season that the Miami Edison girls team had this past year with their success in their varsity team. And so, with that in mind, I really wanted to focus on telling a story about individuals in the soccer world who have really contributed to telling the successful stories of Black and Brown players. And that was important to me to highlight that because it was a challenge to really find the right type of imagery and the right type of um, design that would really highlight those aspects of the culture. And so, in doing so, I selected Crystal Dunn and Kylian Mbappe, who are both extremely talented and respected athletes in the world of soccer. And, Crystal Dunn, a lot of people may not know her, but she was one of the first African American women to be selected to play for the United States national women's team. And so, I have an importance in my practice to really hone in and tell the stories that aren't widely known and that are very inspirational, not just for me, but for the youth and the upcoming generation. So it was important to highlight this story just as an homage and an inspiration to what the local at Miami Edison's varsity women's team really got to go through. So it was important to me to highlight that.
Thank you, Stefan. And Donnamarie, when you thought about this project, what did you envision and what did you want to accomplish with this project?
Recollecting my thoughts. My first thought, because I've worked in the community so much in different capacities, doing different curatorial projects, was the location, how central this location is, how important this building is, the historical aspect of the building, the audience that was going to see the mural, and the message that would be given from the mural. So obviously choosing the artist wasn't difficult because Stefan chose me. He was very insistent on this project. He literally, every time I saw him, I would run into him and his wife. He would say, "Hey, I'm still interested in doing that mural." Or he'd send me an email every 6 months or "Hey, is there an opportunity to do a mural? I'm still interested." And I thought, wow, this guy is he's going to be amazing because he really wants this project. So when Marilyn came to me with Dr. Cat with this opportunity, I thought Stefan is the perfect artist for this, especially after reviewing his work again and just seeing how good he is technically. And he has such a passion for this community because his father has deep roots in this community and he never let me forget it. So I said, this is the guy who has to do this mural. So we talked about it, and he's giving you his reasons for wanting to do the mural and the message that he wants to bring. And for me, the message in all of the murals is really about hope and positivity and joy in our communities, and especially in predominantly Black and Brown communities that have gone through difficult tough periods of blight, of disenfranchisement, of migration. You know, it's important that we have signs and recognition of that we were here, one, as gentrification continues to happen, and two, that we overcome. We're still here. We're positive. We're joyful. We thrive. We even excel. And so that's what this mural is really about. Although a lot of these stories haven't been told, as Stefan said, it's important for us to tell them. We have a platform, and it's our duty to do so. And so for me, that was really the most important thing, is giving this positive message of joy and of excellence, and relaying that to younger generations of athletes and community members that may not know that we've been here. We've been playing this sport since the sport began. We've always been doing this, and we can continue doing this. So that was really our message. And one other important thing is, Meryl and I had this conversation years ago, is that for me, murals are an entry point to art for a lot of people in our communities. And we may not always feel welcome in some certain white spaces, and I mean white cubes. I don't mean, I mean certain museums or galleries sometimes don't welcome us in those spaces. But art, public art, is for everyone. And it's a level playing field and an entry point for anyone who's interested in art in any way, shape, or form. So when you want to reach a community, a wonderful way to do that is through murals, because it's anyone and everyone has access to it. And since Miami MoCAD is a museum in planning, it's important to start cultivating young viewers and collectors, and even older viewers and collectors who may not know that this too is art. This is some of the things that you will see at Miami MoCAD. So all of these messages are combined, but they're all very brilliant. They're really important, and they are meant to reach all of the community, everyone, regardless of your economic standing in the community or whatever your occupation. It doesn't matter. Art is for everyone, and that's really the message that we're trying to bring.
Thank you, Donnamarie and Stefan. Donnamarie, thank you for articulating our celebration of excellence through Stefan's wonderful, wonderful artwork. And in this celebration of excellence, we hit on Miami MoCAD's 5 E's. You didn't know we had 5 E's. Our 5 E's are: one, entertain. So we're trying to entertain you this evening. 2, engage. How many times has someone asked you to subscribe to the newsletter, subscribe to the YouTube channel? We want to get at least 20 subscribers, so we're trying to engage you. To empower. As Donnamarie said, this art is for everyone, and making art, beautiful, fantastic art that celebrates Black excellence, empowers us. Art is for to educate. If you go to that mural, and right next to that mural is a series of QR codes. As I said before, there are QR codes with the stories of Crystal Dunn and Kylian Mbappe, but there are also oral history stories about Overtown and its history. So that's part of our education.
Stefan. And Stefan.
And Stefan. Thank you.
You can learn all about Stefan. You can read his bio. You can see the virtual image of him and learn more about his practice.
And the final thing that we strive every day to do is to earn your trust. So that we trust that when you come out to our events, you will have a good time. But as Hans said, Marilyn always likes that learning part in that too. So here we go. So Stefan, you have beautiful abstract images in your work. What was your thought process? Take us through how you blended in a mural the images of athletes, a soccer ball, and then those beautiful, beautiful abstract parts of the mural.
So I started my design, as I do with most of my artwork, was with research. And particularly, I wanted to use the colors that, to me, embody of Miami in a sense. So for me, that was some of this pink you can see here. I'm wearing my Miami Inter jersey, as I'm a big soccer fan. But I wanted to utilize the colors for me that really signify Miami. So that for me was kind of a royal blue and that kind of Miami pink. And so I use that as a base. And for throughout all of my works, I somewhat have a small obsession with the the beginning of an idea, especially when you jot it down on paper in some way, and that's the flow of a line. So I usually embody that in most of my designs. So that was a starting point for me. And that kind of is a symbol of the connectivity that comes through all things for me. And I base that as a background image. And then I started to utilize some of my architectural training that I've learned in school, and I started to examine some of the topography of Miami. And I took some very prominent lines from the Bay of Miami, where a lot of the sports and entertainment districts of Miami come from, and I kind of superimposed that over the backdrop. So that was my initial design process for coming up with this abstract element around the figures. And to speak on the figures, I knew that I wanted to embody some of those ease that you were talking about just now, some of the entertainment and engagement, and to really highlight, especially on such a prominent road in Miami, right next to the on ramp for I-95. I knew that I really needed to design something that was going to capture people's attention so they can really have that engagement as they went by, not to distract anybody from getting in any car crashes as they went on the highway, but as just something that would, lure their eyes so that they could be curious about what's happening in the community. And, that's really right on the edge of Overtown. So I wanted to bring that significance and that highlight to the area. So the figures, I knew they had to be somewhat, engaging. And in terms of engagement, I thought, what better way to signify that than to capture somebody in the action of kicking a soccer ball or really being deep into the game. So I used my Photoshop skills and some of the skills I learned in architecture school and through, diving into art over the years. So I created those images of those players through messing with photographs and utilizing the imagery of Crystal Dunn's face and some other models that I found on the internet. So those photos don't actually exist. I really created them as a way to embody the stories that I was trying to tell, and really to use all of the elements from the background to the foreground as a means to create that connectivity and that engagement. And so the augmented reality aspect of it was really something that I worked together with MoCAD and the team that we had put together to signify this engagement, because the game, I don't know if some of you have had a chance to actually play the game, but it's meant to be a way for you guys not only to get you to the website, but to have some sort of interactive play behind the mural as well. So that was my basis for creating the design.
Thank you, Stefan. Donnamarie, I want to give you the last word.
Yay,
And
that's the last word.
tell us what you want to tell us. That's the last word.
Oh, gosh, okay, I won't be long-winded this time. Well, obviously, we want you to support Miami MoCAD. And we want you to engage with as much art in the community as you can, or in your communities. Art is important. It's one of the most important parts of our humanity, I believe. And art has the power to heal, it has the power to change. And that's really what we're hoping we can do with our mural projects in Overtown and hopefully other communities. So we really want you to not only see the murals, but learn about the artists and support the artists, because we would be nothing without artists, obviously. I wouldn't have a job without artists. And we need to have an ecosystem in which artists can thrive. So we encourage you to learn as much as you can about the artists, follow them, buy their work, support their work. Whatever you can do would be a wonderful, wonderful way to help sustain the artist ecosystem, which can help sustain Miami MoCAD.
Thank you.
Sure, we will take one question. How many?
We can take a couple.
Okay, couple questions. Anybody have a question?
No, I just wanted to thank him for being up at 2:30 and
Thank you. Give a shout out for Stefan.
My pleasure.
Yeah. He is, yeah. I was gonna ask, but then I could see, I was like, he looks a little tired.
yes.
But I also want to give a shout out. Stefan is a living lesson of persistence. Never give up. Persist, persist, persist. So thank you, Stefan, for persisting.
Thank you
In the
guys.
art world, it's always good for an artist to know the curators, for the artist to create relationships with the curators. Relationships start so many things. But thank you, Stefan, for persisting.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
So my question has to do with the recent event with the man that's the head of the state and cutting, I refuse to say the name, that has cut the budget for the arts. I don't think if you guys are aware, he removed the entire arts budget from Florida. So
Yes.
what is the impact to you, and what do we as citizens want? Now, I know we need to give and give more, but what is the impact?
Well, taking $32 million out of the art budget for the entire state of Florida is just a travesty. But what it is a wake-up call. It gives people more reasons to engage. It gives people more reasons to understand the issues. This is a big issue. There are other big issues. And this is a real reason for people to look at the issues, look at the choices, and make decisions to register to vote and to vote.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Questions?
I know you would.
That was a great question, by the way.
Very nice.
I have core the needs, but I don't have to have the fifth one. So I have entertain, engage, educate.
Empower.
Okay. I couldn't spell empowered the correct way. Thank you.
And earn your trust. Thank you for taking down our 5E. In just one moment, I would like for Hans Artino and Douglas Fajardo to come up and, oh, one question.
Maybe just a suggestion in the future. Maybe we can have this in Creole and in English. For those people who speak Creole, that would be amazing.
Yeah,
That would be amazing. Thank you.
yeah, that would be great.
Hans.
You can have Spanish as well.
I want to give Stefan just an opportunity to
Sure.
say something before he goes to sleep.
Yes.
Stefan,
Sure.
before we say 99 to you.
Wait, one sec, Shirley, and then we'll let him have the closing.
Okay.
Okay, Shirley. I am new to Miami Mocap. So is it art around Overtown? Is this Miami Mocap? Is it?
That's a good question. That's a great question.
Well, there are many facets to the answer. In Overtown, we have commissioned 3 interactive murals. One mural is on the law office building of the first Black judge in Miami, Judge Lawson E. Thomas. That's an interactive mural that contains QR codes with histories, oral histories. In fact, Ms. Jackie Collier here of the Hampton House gave oral histories for our murals. We have a mural across the street from the Lyric Theater on the Union Hall. People don't know or realize that an important ladder to the middle class in port cities for Black people was the Longshoremen Union, because they organized and could collectively contract for better wages. So we collected oral histories of the longshoremen, and that's a very powerful mural on the Longshoremen building. And this is our third mural, which is interactive. And once we conclude this part of the program, Hans and Douglas Fajardo will walk you through how you can at least get a glimpse of the interactive soccer game in the mural. We've also produced virtual reality, augmented reality documentaries of art exhibitions. If you go to our YouTube channel, and hopefully everybody here has subscribed to the Miami MoCat YouTube channel, you will find 2 of our augmented reality, virtual reality previews. One is titled This Life, Black Life in the Time of Now. The other is entitled Art Connecting Communities, Overtown and Coral Gables. And we premiered, and then we have all of our murals can be visited at the site here in Overtown and also on our website at miamimocat.org. And that's one of the things that we're trying to do, is to have this local focus with a global reach.
So, and to further answer your question, Miami MoCAD presently does not have a physical building, if that's what you're asking. It is a virtual museum with a museum in planning, so there will eventually be a physical building. This is what we call in the nonprofit world the development aspect, where we engage and we get people excited about the project so that we can later have members and donors and supporters, et cetera. Because especially now, institutions are really going to need it.
And so we are a museum without walls for now. And Hans would never, ever allow us to give up the dream of having a welcoming cultural art space.
Thank you.
Stefan. So we want Stefan to have the last word before you go to bed. Thank you so much.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. I'd like to thank Donnamarie specifically for trusting me with this process. I'd like to thank Marilyn for trusting me with this process. I'd like to thank Yvette for helping out behind the scenes and making sure everything went according to plan. I'd also like to thank Douglas for helping with the AR game. And I just want to make a highlight that it's important to engage our local communities, especially Black and Brown communities, and to tell stories in these communities that can engage and inspire the next generation, and our current generation and the older generations, really all generations, and to highlight specifically that the soccer industry is widely loved. And as Donnamarie was saying earlier, we've been playing this sport since the sport was invented. And, Miami as a primarily Spanish, based community here that really supports soccer in the States. I just want to highlight that, in 2026, the FIFA World Cup will be having a lot of games coming into Miami, and there'll be a lot of traction and engagement happening. And this type of work and engagement with local artists and the local communities is supremely important to highlight, because, we really want to make sure that the development that's happening in Miami is kind of spread out throughout all of Miami, that's touching base in the Black and Brown communities that we are represented in. And you should highlight and try to promote these types of projects so that that development through these organizations really comes into our community, because it's supremely important, and it's something I stand behind, and I know it's something that MOCAD stand behind. So I just wanted to thank everybody again for coming out and trusting me with this process. It has meant the world to me. I'd also like to shout out to Nelson Adams, my Aunt Effie, and my parents and my family, and my friends, and everyone who supported me through this process. Also Stephen as well. So thank you guys so much. This has been an awesome experience. I hope everybody enjoys the mural and enjoys the game. And let's see who can get the highest score. Guys, I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.
So before Hans and Douglas take you through the games, I want to thank the incredible team that has been working with Miami MOCAD. Yvette Harris gets the gold star. But we have another gold star to Alexis Brown, who created this beautiful project. And there's a team that you won't see. There's a team that's behind the scenes. There's that team that puts out the social media. There's that team that puts out the emails. There's that team that keeps me on the straight and narrow path, because left to my own devices, Miami MOCAD will be everywhere. And it's that team of JC, of Choice, of G, of Shola. You don't know them, but one day you'll meet them. They're behind the scenes, and they are the people who keep Miami MOCAD running. And you are the team, with your support, that keeps us motivated, inspired, and moving forward. And Shirley, we're going to get that building. So, Hans, where are you?
Hiding over there.
Right here, man.
Douglas, where are you?
Oh, boy. Let's give another hand for Stefan, Mural, and Donnamarie. I don't want to quote Kendrick Lamar, but they are not like us. We're never going to get it. Any other musician. I'm telling you, we bring the vibe and all the E's that Marilyn said. And, Doug, we're here.